Hi everybody, it's Kendy Jane.
And hi, I'm Quintin. I'm Kendy's husband.
Today we were cooking spaghetti and meatballs, and Quintin said,
Just soon film it and put it on the channel and see if anybody would like to see a old Cajun recipe for spaghetti.
yeah, we have some techniques we use that were handed down from my grandparents, and Quintin has some ways he does things also. So we taped it up and
Hope you like it. We'll show it to you in a few minutes and tell us what you think.
that's it. Next time I think we'll do we had a request for a gumbo.
Gumbo, we'll do gumbo. We have several different recipes we'll show over the next few months. So
Yeah.
this is just the first one of many to come.
And remember, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, if you ring the little bell next to the subscribed button, you'll get notifications anytime I put a video or we put a food video up. And if you have any suggestions
or anything, let us know.
Cajun recipes you've heard of and want to see, please comment under the video. And that's it.
That's it.
Alrighty.
Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to start out by adding a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil to the pot so I can saute my onion, bell pepper. I'm going to go ahead, put the fire on a good medium, and I have 2 onions chopped medium size, not real fine, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to the pot. I also have a half a bell pepper, kind of large bell pepper, chopped into the sizes to put in also to saute. Go ahead and mix that up real good. Now you don't want to put your garlic in here because your garlic could burn. So we're just going to saute down the onions and bell peppers for about, I don't know, a good 20 minutes or until the onions are clear. And then we'll start adding the sauce. Okay, as you can see, I've been sauteing these onions and bell peppers for about 15-20 minutes, something like that. Today I've chose to cook the sauce in a Magnolite pot that's been handed down for generations. My grandmother-in-law handed down to my wife, and many good recipes have been cooked in this pot. It's a really good pot to cook sauces and gravies and things like that. But the next step here, I'm going to add a 12-ounce can of Hunt's tomato paste to this at this time because there is just about right here. And we're going to saute this down for another, I don't know, 15-20 minutes with the onions and bell peppers. I use Hunt's sauces and paste and things because the flavor is just so good. And we've been using this for many years and have good results. So you just stick that in there, kind of stir it up, and mix all your onions and bell peppers with this. Like I said, I got my fire at about medium. And once you get it all mixed up really good, you brown it for about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. And I always add about a tablespoon of sugar to it. We like the sweet taste, and also the sugar will cut down on the acid as it cooks. Now, I've been told this for years and years about the sugar and how it cuts down on the acid and all this stuff, and it really does work. So I always use it, and it gives it a little sweeter taste. So we're gonna mix this up real good and let it brown for about 20 minutes. You could also add a little baking soda if you want for the acid. You know, some people get heartburn when they eat red sauce. But either way, I choose to put the sugar because I like the sweet taste. But we're gonna brown this and see how that goes. Okay, this has been sauteing for about 15 minutes. Now remember, when you sauteing this, you have to pretty much stir constantly, because if you see here, it'll stick to the bottom. So So you want to keep it moving. Just stir it, level it out, maybe let it cook for, 30 seconds or so, and then stir it. If you don't, it could burn. So you just, constantly, if you have a good stir in the house, get them to come stir for a while. And then, good 20 minutes. Just keep on stirring it like this. It's getting nice brown. And this is the whole base of your sauce right here. This is what makes it. So you just let that brown get right. And the next step, what we're going to do is add some tomato sauce, garlic, oregano, fresh oregano out of my herb garden. Oh, it just gives it such a good flavor if you have fresh oregano. But we're going to add that in just a minute when this is right. Just let it cook a little while longer. Okay, I think it's just about done here. It's been going for a good 20 minutes, stirring occasionally, and it looks really nice brown color. Yeah, today we're cooking, like I said, meatball spaghetti. Actually, there's nothing Italian about this meal. Spaghetti and meatballs is American 100%. Been to Italy before, around Europe, and look for spaghetti and meatballs, and there's no such thing actually. They don't. This is not an Italian dish, but Americans love it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 29-ounce cans of Hunt's tomato sauce. Just pour it right in there. I said 2 29-ounce cans of Hunt's tomato sauce. Alright, I'm going to stir that in. Mix that paste and the onions and everything up real good with this Hunt's tomato sauce. And I'm also going to add 2 cans of Ro-Tel. This gives it a wonderful flavor. Okay, so we'll stir that in also. Stir that in real good. And I'm keep my heat on about medium. Now I'm also going to add, I have about, I don't know, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, chopped not real fine. I'm going to put that in there also. And I also have about, I don't know, 1.5 teaspoons of fresh oregano. That I'm going to put in there also. And a little bit basil, about 1/2 a teaspoon there. And we're going to stir all that in. Give it real nice flavor. And after I get all that mixed in like that, I have one 12-ounce can, my little tomato paste can here. I added some water too. And I'm just going to mix it up in my other cans a little bit. So we're going to add about 12 ounces of water to the mix. Stir that in. And we're going to bring our heat up just a little. Get it back to sauteing really medium to where it's just bubbling. You don't want it too high. So I'll turn it back up to that. And we'll see what happens. Okay, it's just starting to bubble up real good now. So I'm going to get this going. Once it starts bubbling like that, you can go ahead and cover it. Set your heat to low. And just let it go for, a little while, maybe a half an hour or so while you prepare your meatballs. So that's what we're about to go do. We'll get our meatballs prepared. And we're going to go ahead and cover this Because if you don't cover it and set it low, it's gonna pop, and it'll pop all over you, all over everything. So keep it covered. I mean, you can use a higher pot, a deeper pot, and that'll help. But I prefer to use this one because it cooks so well. But just be very careful with the popping of the sauce. So we're gonna get the meat.
Hey guys, let's make some meatballs here. Okay, we have about 3 pounds of ground beef. You can use ground chuck, but I would not use ground round. You need some oil. We're gonna add a whole onion chopped fine, 1 bell pepper, well no, half a bell pepper, like a medium bell pepper. That is a lot. Okay. This is about 3 garlic cloves, chopped really fine, 3 or 4. This is some fresh oregano from our herb garden that I just picked and chopped really fine. About a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. About a half a cup of Parmesan cheese grated. And I like to use fresh breadcrumbs, but I also use the seasoned breadcrumbs in the container if I need a little bit more. 2 eggs. Okay, and how I do my breadcrumbs, I just squeeze it. And down here we like Evangeline made bread. It's just a good tasting sliced bread we buy. But whatever your bread that you like in your area, I would use that kind. And you just toast it and you just squeeze it. Now my grandmother showed me how to make meatballs, and sometimes she would use just untoasted bread, but my kids really like the way this bread makes it taste. It's not so much as I'm adding a filler, it's just it really gives it a good flavor. Okay, this one's a lot more toasted for some reason. And after you toast it, if you just let it sit out for a little while, it dries up and it's even easier to make. Boop. Okay, and you need 2 eggs. Put these in here. That's 1. And 2. And just make sure you clean your hands very well before you start this. Your hands are your best tool in the kitchen. So I've always used my hands, but you can put gloves on if you have some surgical gloves with nothing on them. That's good too. Now we're going to add our seasoning. I like black pepper, so we're going to add about, I guess, maybe a couple teaspoons of black pepper.
I like your measuring tool.
I like to put some garlic powder and onion powder.
We don't measure very much.
No, I just kind of put about that much. I would say that's a what? Teaspoon?
Yeah, about
1 to 2 teaspoons. And this is onion powder. No, that was garlic powder. This is onion powder. And then we're going to add a little bit basil. We had basil in our herb garden, but the whole tree died. It was beautiful, but we lost it all, so maybe this summer.
Yeah, we got weather in the teens this year, so it's
which is highly unusual.
highly unusual.
And it didn't like being in the house, so okay. And that was basil, about a teaspoon and a half. I always add Tony Chachere's. It's a Cajun flavoring, but any kind of seasonal that would be good. I just kind
Show
of
it a little better.
About that much.
Show it a little better.
About like this. Okay. And I like to put a little paprika. This is ground paprika. My son bought a different kind. This is smoky, so I hope it's good in here. And I just put a lot of paprika, about 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. And a little red pepper. Now remember, you have red pepper in this also, so you don't want to put too much seasoning. Black pepper, it's not really that spicy. we find down here. That's about what, 1 teaspoon? And salt. Now you're gonna have to, you can even cook you a little piece of meat real quick to see if it's enough salt in it. Now the seasoning also has enough salt in it, so you got to be careful you don't put too much. Okay, and what you do, you take all of this and you mix it. If it's too moist, you can always add more seasoned breadcrumbs, but I just kind of gently mix it. You can even scramble up your eggs if you want before you put them in. That way they'll be mixed. I'm always in a hurry, so I just throw them in. And once you get it, you don't want to mix it too much. You kind of just combine everything as best you can without really smashing the meat too much. You want to be gentle with it. Okay, that's all I would do. Just want it all combined. Okay, then take a flat baking pan and spray it with some Pam. And I don't make real huge meatballs. I make them about my hand size. And when you make your meatballs, this matters now. You want to just form it. You don't want to, I'm going to show you what you shouldn't do. This is perfect, like this. You don't want to, if you want to see how this turns out, take one of them and really form it. You know, just keep rolling and make it perfect. The more you play with the meat, the tougher it is. So you don't want to keep like shaping it, because it will make it tough. It looks prettier, but okay. Okay. And you just want to take it, and I just form it like that. And it won't be tough, it'll be just scrumptious. That way you can take 2 meatballs if you don't make them too big. Now this is a large spaghetti recipe that my husband's making. You can half it, and you'll have plenty. We just make a large recipe, and if we have leftovers, I freeze it. It freezes very well. And I don't freeze the noodles. I'll just take it out and pop it. Well, usually I'll just take it out, let it defrost, and then reball some noodles. And that's how I make them. Okay, I'll finish this up and I'll show you my finished tray in just a second.
Okay, the meatballs are done. This is what they look like. I have a pan and a half, a little over 3 pounds of meat we use, but this is the finished product. Now we're gonna. Okay, the meatballs are done. This is what they look like. I have a pan and a half, a little over 3 pounds of meat we use, but this is the finished product. When we add these in the oven, we're gonna set the oven to 350 and cook for about 20 minutes. Alright, the sauce has been cooking about 20 minutes now. As you can see, it's light bubble. So you want to stir it occasionally. I have my meatballs in the oven right now at 350. They're going to cook for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to add it to this. And we'll cook in an additional 20 minutes here. And that'll be a finished product. But this is what the sauce looks like at this time. In a few minutes we'll add the meatballs and let it finish. Okay, the meatballs are now done. Take them out the oven, and we're going to add them right in the sauce here. As you can see, the sauce is popping, so be very careful. Add them right in there.
So you took all 3 sauces.
The main reason we put the meatballs in the oven is just to take the grease out of them. Just cooks them a little bit, takes all the grease out. So that's why I like to do that. Let me grab my other pan real quick. get them all in there. Like I said, it was a little over 3 pounds of meat. We like to have leftovers, so we make extra. You can make less, more, whatever your preference is, but we like to make around 3 pounds. We have 4 in our family, so it feeds us pretty good, and we normally have leftovers. So we just get them all in there. Okay. And just want to kind of stir them down in there. Oh, look how good that looks. Look at that sauce with those meatballs. Alright. Alright, we get them all in there. We're going to cook another 20 minutes or so. 30 minutes. I normally cook the sauce, I don't know, hour and a half, an hour. You can cook it longer, but at least an hour. So we're gonna go another hour. I mean another half hour. I'm sorry, and you should have a finished product.
Hey, my baby.
Okay. After we've added the meatballs, it's cooked another, I don't know, half hour or so, 45 minutes, and it is done now. Look at this. Nice thick gravy meatballs. Just boiled my noodles. I prefer angel hair pasta, but cook any kind you would like with it. Doesn't really matter. And I'm preparing a garlic bread. And I'm going to make a plate. Let you see what it looks like. And I'll show you that in just one second. Okay guys, this is the finished product. Spaghetti and meatballs, Cajun style. Chop a meatball for you, let you see what it looks like inside.
Yum.
And we sprinkled a little Parmesan cheese on top to your taste, and that's it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to enjoy some spaghetti. Hope y'all enjoyed.
Bye.